What's up, Dex?
Hey, how you doing, Brian? It's
Pretty
nice
solid.
seeing you again.
Good to see you too, man. It's been good.
Alright, so what you got for me?
Alright, so
I do believe that things happen to your life for a very specific reason, but at the same time, I feel like people misinterpret what that saying actually means. I feel like people give it too much power. So what that means is that people are just lying down in their lives. They're like, oh, this happened to me and that happened to me, so it must be that way. No, I feel like what happens is certain things happen in your life to teach you a lesson, to make you stronger, to help you move forward in your life. So what happens is people accept things for what they are instead of taking them as lessons. That's why the same stuff keeps happening to them over and over and over again, and they get it in and they get this idea in their mind that life is the way it is because it was supposed to be that way, and that's not true. The things that happen in your life are lessons. Everything happens for a reason because there's a reason why this keeps happening to you. And I know that's redundant, but the whole point of it is the reason why this is going on is to teach you a lesson so you can move forward with your life. If X, Y, and Z keeps happening over and over and over again, and it's constantly a situation that you don't like, that means there's constants. This means there's certain things that keep happening over and over again in sequence because it's the same order of events at different points in your life. Repetition, a pattern, a lesson is literally like watching the same show. It's the same premise, it's the same plot. Have you not yet learned the players? Have you not yet learned what's going on? And if you don't like it, it happens over and over again so you can finally see what happened so you can change it. Things happen in our life for a very specific reason, yes, but those things are only to move us forward. Life is progressive.
Hey, my name is Brenton Grant. The first thing I thought of when I thought of a difficult period was I was in a relationship with a guy who was a recovering heroin addict, and he had about 3 years clean when we met, and unfortunately during our relationship he relapsed and died of an overdose. Unfortunately, I found his body in my house, and I had to I discovered the body and I had to call the police and everything. So I was diagnosed with PTSD shortly after. Anyways, after his death, about a week later, I was in a state of just totally not being present, and I decided to relapse on drugs and drive around, which of course led to me crashing my car. Since then, I had to go to jail twice since it was my second DUI. I had to go for violating probation and then again to serve my time. It was very hard. The mental struggles were difficult for a long time, but I used methods like psychology and spirituality, which I care very deeply about. I consider myself a very spiritual person. I had to rely on spirituality and higher guidance to help me work through this period of trauma and guilt and grieving. And through meditation, through hobbies, through art, especially going outside and going for hikes is extremely helpful. I have recovered completely from this horrible period in my life. And I'm now a functioning student, employee, and friend without any PTSD left. So I've officially recovered from my PTSD, thanks to spirituality and meditation.
Every action has a reaction. As we learned from Brenton, his choices to drink and drive not only caused himself problems, but other people as well, the people who were involved with the accident. His choices led to him having 40 nights in jail and probation for time after. And that is losing time. You're not moving forward in that case. Now, through self-reflection, he was able to move past it, and now he's functioning perfectly fine. Like, he's over here. Brenton, say hi.
What's up, folks?
Like, he's killing it nowadays. But what if you are the victim? Not everything in life is going to be your fault, and you shouldn't put the blame on everything that you do. Brian explains this further as being the victim of a drunk driving accident.
definitely an issue I overcame was back in 8th grade. I was in a car accident with a drunk driver. It was real bad. He almost died. He went to the hospital. And,
8th grade?
Yeah, 8th grade. Summer of 8th grade to 9th grade. And I had a little bit of kind of a PTSD thing going on with cars, and wasn't able to be in a car for about 6 months. and I walked to school every day. I didn't go anywhere. It was kind of real bad. So eventually, me and my dad were kind of talking about it. I just had to get out of it, and it took me a while, but I started just getting into cars and, you know, driving around. And eventually, when I was like 17, I got my license. I ended up kind of just taking steps to get over this whole fear of drunk drivers being everywhere. And I've seen accidents happen. I've been in 3 car accidents, and it's rough, but you can't be afraid of everything. You gotta just keep going, and you can't just stop because one bad thing happens to you. Like, I'm alive, I'm here, and I'm okay. And just because I got hit by a drunk driver doesn't mean that I can't be in a car. It's not gonna happen every time. Yeah. So it's like, you know, it sucked in the moment. It was rough for a couple months, but definitely something I had to learn how to do. I had to learn to drive. I had to learn to be a part of society like that. And, you know, definitely a rough time, but you got to overcome it. That's what you got to do.
And in life, you have a choice to choose whether you want to think about the negative stuff or you want to dedicate your energy towards the positive aspects that are going well in your life. But again, there's a catch. In order to start like moving forward and thinking positive, you have to stop blaming everybody and everything around you for all the stuff that went wrong. Once you start taking responsibility for your own actions, only then can you actually move forward.
A lot of kids at my age, especially when graduation comes around and we have senior week, a lot of kids are going to be going out and partying, or they're going to be going to the beach and you know, drinking with their friends and parties. Yeah, all of Delco is, you know, has like this migration to Temple whenever it's the weekend and people are looking to get lit. So, you know, if you're doing that kind of thing, like, there's always certain things that you can do to be safe. But that's something that you have to really think it over first. You have to think it through and make the right choices about that, because you could just go in thinking that, you know, everything's gonna work out, but you don't really have a plan about getting back home, or, you know, who's gonna be looking out for who, that kind of thing. That's where it can lead to dangerous situations. Yeah, you have to look after yourself. You have to look after your friends who you're going out and partying with. You got to think about the kinds of people who you're doing these things with. If you're in like a safe environment with people who are actually going to care if you pass out or get sick or get hurt or something like that. You know, things can go really wrong really easily, and I know that a lot of people's mindset is that they're too smart for stuff like that and it's never going to happen to them.
Hey.
But there's always a possibility. So, you know, don't stop going to parties. Don't give up, you know, the things that make you happy, but try to be a little conscious about it. Try to think about the choices and what the consequences could be if you fuck things up, because, you know, shit happens. And you know, we've all heard like the horror stories about people dying at frat parties, and we know that that's not likely. But you know, if you're with the wrong people or you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, then you never know what's going to happen.